Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome back. Welcome to Cloud and DevOps Batch 58. So first of all, I have not taken last two sessions due to my sore throat issues. So I just sorted these things. Now I want to give you a quick recap on what's been covered in the previous session. Previous session, we were building the modules locally. Okay, if you look at this, these modules, app is a module. And if you look at this, I'm calling this module. This is called as a local module. So here the source is local. Okay, so keeping these modules locally within the same repository is not a great approach. The reason why I'm saying this is if you keep the modules outside the code, for example, for EC2 instance, you created one module, for network, you created a separate module, and for storage, S3 buckets, you have created a separate module. What happens is if in your organization, if there are multiple projects, they don't have to rewrite the code multiple times. Rather, they can just directly inherit the code and can use it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is for our expense project, I would like to create a okay backend module. So all the actual code of the instance, security group, everything would be residing in the backend, and the code that you are going to call the backend module will be in this particular repository. Okay, so we are going to create two repositories. Okay, one repository is going to hold the actual code, and another repository which is nothing but the backend module that has all the needed things. All right, so let's get started. So first, let's try to go ahead and create two repositories. So I'm gonna call it as expense Terraform. Done. So expense Terraform, this is where we are going to call the backend modules. Okay, next is TF module Terraform. So this is where the actual code of the module will reside. That's all. Okay. All right. So we have created two Terra repositories. This is the structure, code structure. Okay. TF-module Terraform module actual code. Okay. All we are trying to do is we are making sure the code is dry and reusable, not just dry. Okay. Since the expense is our project, that's the reason I named it as expense. Okay. Root module. From here, we call the code to source the backend module. Okay. I have created two repositories. Let me try to clone it. Rather than TF module. Okay. That's okay. Expense Terraform. Yeah. Not Terraform expense, expense Terraform. Okay. So here, what are we going to do is in the expense Terraform, we just follow the same structure. Okay. Where is the expense Terraform? Yeah. env-dev. Right now we are targeting only to create two environments. Okay, and inside this you have main.tfrs versus state.tfrs. Okay, same thing. State.tfrs. That's all. Okay, so the next thing is, so state.dfrs, we need to supply the values. I think we already discussed this. Copy this. So bucket details would be outside. Okay, so this will be, we can say it as, since this is expense project, let's name this way. Now same goes for here. Prod. Done. That's all. And this is going to be prod. Done. And you also need to supply main file, right? Just like how you made it here. Main file provider. Df. Okay, provider.here. I also need to mention the provider. Done. The next thing that we need to do is the main file. Okay, we need to source it. How are we going to source it? Like this. Okay, but here, not this, sorry. Mm. So here, go here. How are you going to call? So Terraform remote module. So it's going to be GitHub. Your code is on the top of your GitHub. So you're going to mention it Git. Or if you don't want to just say just only GitHub, you can also go with generic repository that works for anything. You can also mention that. So this is how you can mention. And if your repository that you're using has username and password, which means it is a private repository, you can also use username, password. That also fine. But again, our repositories are public. Okay, so you want to keep this way. So I'm gonna name this as app. Okay, and where is your code? It's going to be here, right? TF module Terraform, and here is where your code is will be assigned, right? That's it. Mm. All right. So TF module Terraform, and that's it. Now here, let me try to build the README. This is the root module, which is going to source the remote modules available in. Okay. So all the Terraform init plan apply will be executed inside this repository. Okay. And this is referred as root module, and the code from where we are sourcing it as backend module. All right. All the state information will be supplied here. Uh, All right. That's it. Okay. Mm. TF module Terraform, everything is fine. Mhm. Anything else? Okay. All right. Now we also need to have variables.tf, right? Expense Terraform. Let's try to create vars.tf. Though we don't have the variables, let's try to keep it. So right now, backend module is just empty, right? Now let's try to see what it says, okay, when you try to make it, right? We have nothing in the backend, okay? If you look at this, our backend, which is nothing but TF module Terraform, okay, TF module Terraform, it's completely empty. I'll just write, this is the backend module that has the actual code, which will be used by a lot of modules, a lot of projects from other sources. So keep in mind, you are not going to hard code any values. Instead, we, okay. All right. So that means our backend is empty. Now I'll try to see whether it's gonna publish anything or not. Okay. TF module, right? Rush expense Terraform. Done. Okay. Now expense Terraform done. Now the state is also done. Okay, main file is done, provider is done. Okay, within the provider itself, state is also declared. Done. Now let's try to clone the code. So that we're all expense team, right? Even if tomorrow ratings project comes up, if they want EC2 instance security group, they don't have to recreate everything. All they need to do is just change the values. Okay, that's the goal. Git clone. So I'm not going to call the backend module as well. Okay, so I'll just say Terraform init, Terraform init, backend config is equal to this. Okay, and Terraform plan. So now you can see guys, okay, Terraform init is going to download all the needed plugins that are mentioned in the code. It is going to initialize the backend modules if you have mentioned in the root modules, and it also going to validate the code. Okay, so initializing the modules, downloading the plugins, right? So it says fail to parse the command line flag. Okay, all right. So what is the fail to parse? Oh, I'm sorry, you don't need this, right? Terraform plan, that's all. Okay, now Terraform apply. Okay, done. Now again, I also need to have the Go CD, right? So here is the standard operating procedure that we have pledged to go with. So let's try to go with SOP. Again, let me try to write it one more time. Okay, this is SOP that we have kept, right? Anything related to OS will go by Ansible. Okay, this is one thing that we want to do, right? And second SOP, what is the other one? Okay, automation will be triggered by go CD only. Okay, infra provisioning should go by Terraform. This is the standard operating procedure, and this is something we want to make sure we follow. Okay, this is what I want. But again, I want to make sure these triggers will happen only from the Go CD, not manually. Because if you go here and if you try to look at this, 8153 Go CD, right? I want just like how we have made this, even then I want deployment should happen through Go CD, not really through manually. Okay, so how can we deal that? Okay, so how can we deal that? How can we deal that? So let's deal it. By the way, where is environment? Okay. Where are my other jobs? But where are my other jobs? Mhm. Where are my other jobs? Hmm. Invalid match configuration pipeline backend refers to non-existent. Failed to load pipeline. There was a unknown error perform this operation. Okay. Go cd pipelines.git. Okay. Did I make any mistake? So for this YAML, you should not supply these kind of things. Then see data. Okay. Why my UI is failing? So this particular commit is causing this issue. Procedure pipelines, and it's updated 2 weeks back. But all these days it worked, right? So it ends with B5. C55. Okay, what was the last commit that we made? Let's look at this. Okay, okay, okay. Template app deployment. Hmm. It clearly says for config my repo, it looks for go cd templates, which is not there. Okay. What happened? What happened to it? Templates? There are no Ansible, there are no pipelines associated with this template. Okay, dev, jobs, template is Ansible app deployment. Okay. Uh, Artifacts, job settings, pitch materials. Okay. But this is interesting. Why all of a sudden it stopped working? Just a second, guys, because I want to make sure it should work because Ansible deployments also we made it, right? That's the problem once we don't do anything over code. Okay. So here it completed. Now materials. Okay. Config repositories. Latest commit in this repository. And so we total have 3 pipelines. App deployments. Sample 001. Select the pipelines. Okay. What happened? 1 second. Eight one five three. Error. Pipeline, there are invalid merge configuration on 4th September 2054. Invalid merged configuration. For config repo revision, what was the changes that we made? Did I screw anything? Actually, why it is not showing? Ansible app deployment.yaml. Just looking for the template. Okay, B58 Cloud DevOps Git. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the commit. Mhm. 1B08. What is the problem with this? Invalid merged configuration, number of errors 3 plus, pipeline backend. App deployment template is not there. Let's Ansible app deployment. Okay, template. This is the one. App deployment template. Okay. Ansible app deployment. But it worked all these days, right? Oh, okay. That's okay. What we're gonna do is, so let's create a directory. I'll fix it later. Let's not waste time. Deployment. So what I'm gonna do is, for Terraform, apply will create one template and delete will create one template. Okay. Okay. So for create.yaml and destroy.yml. All right. So here, whatever we have, let's try to copy that. Okay. So here in the deployments, whatever we have, let's copy that. Okay. And here, so here it's going to be expense Terraform, right? Okay. And display order. SSH password, environment variable. It's going to be front end stages. Copy the stage. Okay. Okay. Just before the template. I don't need to go through the template. Okay. And dev stage, which materials? Okay. Clean environment, env dev, manual. Okay. Done. Okay. Again, I want to go through the deployment type as manual, right? Approval type manual. Okay. We use this option. That's the reason I'm not going again. Secure variables, I don't want because I already declared it. Jobs. Okay. So here I'm gonna call it as init.sh or run.sh. That's going to run whatever is needed. Okay. And here I'm gonna name it as create infra. Okay. Create pipeline. Done. And the group is I'll call it as group as Terraform. And the label template column done. Done, done, done. And here arguments rather than just saying init.sh, I'll just say it as what is a command. It's not dash bash, right? Terraform. Okay. Terraform init and Terraform init --- backend config is equal to Terraform init --- backend -config is equal to, okay, env-dev and that state dot tfrs. Okay. Done. Mm, okay, so the same goes for other four environments as well. So done. Uh, 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 uh. One more exec. This is Terraform init. This is plan, or let's apply it. Okay, Terraform apply. Okay, -var -file -dev main.tfrs and -auto -flow. That's all. That's it. Okay, so let's go with the prod. We're gonna name it as a prod. Here we have is equal to prod. That's all. Uh, let's only have prod and dev. Okay, let's not waste time on having multiple environments at this point of time. Again, for better readability, if you think that this is quite lengthy, okay, you can also reduce the size. Okay, so you can also do something. This is one thing that you can do. This is the list way. Okay, so first I want to show you that it works. That's the reason I just cut that off. Okay. If you remember when we're learning YAML, we also see that option just to reduce the length. Okay, nothing else. So here, rather than just going with this option, you can also go with this option of Terraform init and Terraform plan in a single shot. Okay, so what you can do is uh, Terraform jobs instead of build. I'll call it as a I'll call it as Terraform task, and inside that first exec what I would like to do is command, and the command is Terraform, comma, and the next is arguments, right? Arguments, and these arguments, it's because it's a list. Okay. Init, comma, hyphen backend config. That's it. Okay. So this is exec. Now you also have to go through the same for apply as well. Okay. Because this code sounds a bit lengthy, right? So you can go through this approach. Terraform arguments. Instead of this, apply. And here hyphen var file. Main.tfvars. And it's going to be hyphen auto hyphen approve. Okay, that's all done. Done this. Okay. Now we're going to do the same. And here, anything else? That's all. Maybe we can also do the same for prod as well. Okay. Nothing, see, it's the same, but again, in code complexity is increasing, right? Just for better readability. That's all. Though, I mean, the backend code is not really there. So just for the demonstration purpose, okay? Let's do it. For destroy also, it's the same. Okay, so for rather create, we just say it as a destroy. And everything remains the same. The only thing that would change here is instead of apply, I'll just go to change. And even for the prod, it's the same. That's all, done. Okay, so let's try to publish the code and see. Again, the backend code is not yet ready. All I'm trying to make is just trying to make sure the needed code is in place. Okay, so go here and try to make a refresh of the config repo. See. Maybe what I can do is at this point of time, I'll just comment everything because this is looking for something that's not there. It is wasting our time, right? Just for the demo purpose, okay? Because however, we are not going to run the Ansible pipelines anymore It's through Terraform only. So I just commented it at this point of time. Okay. The plugin sent a response that could not be understood by Go. Plugin required until the hmm. Yes, I'm not clear. What is this? Root map is null. What's wrong in this? Hmm. Again, it's also not needed. But what is this? Hmm. Did we screw something? Because it's been a while I didn't turn it on. The plugin sent a response that could not be understood by Go. Plugin returned 500 response, which is an internal error then. And the following response, target version 1. Okay, target version 1. Okay, where is target version 1? Okay, target version 1. Pipelines. Cannot invoke Java until set. Let me go to templates to delete this template. What is this? Failed to load. Pipelines defined in this repository. There was an unknown error performing the operation. Possible reason not found. What is this? Come on. Okay. This is expected. What is this error? I am not able to understand. What is this null pointer exception? Java lang null pointer exception cannot invoke. Java lang null pointer cannot invoke Java. Okay. Hmm. It doesn't matter. Okay. Ha, ha, ha. This is interesting. I don't know. This I'm not sure, guys. Uh, okay. I'll figure it out later. Okay. So out of our three SOP, this is causing an issue. So at least let's try to build that Terraform in a modular format. Okay. Let's not waste time. Okay. So let's switch back to expense Terraform. Let's try to build our code. Okay. So the code is going to be very straightforward because we know most of it. Okay. Mm. So in from the expense version 5, we are going to copy everything to TF module app. Okay. So from our Terraform basics, from the expense file, okay, whatever you see will be going back. Okay. So inside the TF module, so whatever you see here, these two I would like to move them to here. So here as is. Okay. TF module Terraform app and main.tf and variables.tf, variables.tf, done. Data main variables. Okay. Um, all right. That's it. Mhm. Anything else? So inside the TF module app, inside the main.tf. Okay. Guys, any questions so far? Let's take a pause. Any questions, anyone so far? Yeah, let's not get into this. Let's go step by step. Let's go to the main.tf. And within the main.tf, we are going to have AWS instance, route 53 record, and then null resource to call the provisioner. And all of these things are already available in the backend module. Just get this. Uh, because this is what we are going to use, right? Done. And VP security tax var dot name. Okay, done. Okay, done. Hmm. Okay, at this point of time, this is fine. Done. Now we need to have the variables, appropriate variables, right? Mm. So we also need to have the data sources. So data sources, where and all we used. So control F data dot. Did we use the data source anywhere? So we are not going to use this. Mhm. Let's try to use the data sources. So create a file called as, okay, data.tf. Okay, just copy this. Okay, and again, we are not going to use the security group. We are going to create our own security group. So it's going to be zone followed by the this one only, not everything. Okay, so here the main file we are going to call it to the MI that we are going to mention it, and data dot AWS MI dot image ID. Okay, we already know this. So var dot instance type, var dot security group IDs. So for these three things, we need to have variable instance type, variable name, access variable nv. Okay, so these three are available. So uh, and again, it's not just name. Okay, it's going to be front end hyphen dev, back end hyphen dev, like that I want, right? Which we already discussed. Dollar off. I'll get the Go CD fixed tomorrow. All right. And again, we are not gonna use this. We are going to create our own security group. We'll see. Okay. So at this point of time, these two are ready. And again here, zone ID, data dot, AWS route 53 dot main dot zone dot, uh, zone ID. Done. Uh, this is also going to be not hard coded, right? Done. Right, done. AWS instant dot main dot private IP done. The next is null provisioner. Okay, AWS record dot main dot AWS instance dot main. Now collect sec. This is already done, so we don't have to worry much. So next is we need a security group. Okay, because I don't want to hard code like this. This is a very bad way. So I would like to have a security group. I think somewhere we have also created a security group, if I'm not wrong. Where did we create the security group? Somewhere we created the security group as well. Anyway, let's try to get the security group AWS. Okay, let me, okay. We created a security group, and these are the rules. Ingress rule and egress rule. So copy the security group. So I'm gonna create it in the main file, or you can also call it as sg.tf. Okay. Okay, and the name of the group is main, and the security group is okay. I don't want to go with separate names. Dot name. Okay. Description allows app traffic. Okay, so I don't want to use this VPC because it is a default group, right? And thanks, you don't need. And here ingress rule and egress rule. Egress rule is this. Okay, that means allow everything from inside to outside. Ingress, I'll create it. Okay, for now, I'll just say it as a 22, 22. And -1 means allow all TCP and UDP. And 0000 means allow everything. Okay. And we also need to allow the app port. Okay. So for front end, port is 80. For back end, port is 8080. And for MySQL, it's 3306. So I really don't want to hard code it. Okay, come here and just say var.apport. Port number no. Okay. Done. Then this port also I need to declare, right? Okay, so I also need to declare this var.port. Done. Empty variable so that you don't get the error. And that's all. So the main dot, it should be enclosed in a list because it is a plural. ID. Okay. I'm not even going through the documentation because the plugin is helping me. Okay. Done. That's all. And here, let's. Mm, anything else? Anything else? But here, instance type. Okay. Instance type, variable en with these three. Let's try to put them here. Variables. Done. All right. Now, yes, now the code is standardized. ED2 TF-module. Done. Done. Main.tf. Done. Done. If there are any errors, for example, you are using a variable that is not declared here in this case, it's going to throw you error. That's all. Okay, your code is ready. That means we also need to send all this information to the root. Okay. Now, if you use this information, you can use anything. Okay. For example, the same code by supplying different instance type of T3 micro, you can create it for prod. In dev, you should apply it as a T3.medium. You can use it for T3.medium. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Any questions, anyone? All right. So let's try to go to your actual expense project from where you're calling. So go to here expense and in the main file. Okay. You'll call it as a module as front end. Done. TF module backend Terraform. And so in total we are using 4 variables, right? What are the 4 variables? Okay, these 3 you need to supply it while calling. Okay, that's the rule of thumb. So here, come here, you need to say instance type Done. Okay, I don't have to worry about the spacing because my plugin is going to handle that. Okay, done. Uh, that's it. Mm, Front end, back end, MySQL. Okay. Now I would like to define some dependencies. Now I want to make sure my backend will only be coming up once after my MySQL is okay. See, out of your front end, backend, and MySQL, front end will only work if backend is operational. Backend will only work if MySQL is operational. That means MySQL is the one that should come up first. Okay. So here I need to tell my backend depends on is equal to module.mysql. Done. So this backend will only come up right after the MySQL comes up. Okay. That means I'm very sure among this and this, okay, this will be coming up. Now, I want to make sure this also goes the same way. Okay, I want my front end should come up only after my back end comes up. That's all. So this way, this is dependent on this. This front end is dependent on the back end. So obviously, MySQL is the one that comes up first. All right. So what's next? Mm, 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 mm. These three values, how can we supply? Just sample values, okay? Just to correct them. Obviously, these are dummy values, but just for correction, format checks. Okay, perfect. Now these values, I want to correct them. All right, so these values, how can I supply? So go to the main file and here, front end is equal to instance type. Okay, for port number for front end is this. Done. Next, I'll go with MySQL. So MySQL goes by, okay, and MySQL goes by 3306. And instance type, I want to make it as t3.small for this guy as well. So for backend, I'm okay even if it is t3.small. Okay. So for example, let's say for MySQL t3.micro is enough. Okay. From these guys, backend, I'd like to go with t3.small and the backend port number is 0080. Okay. So input supplying in a map format. All right. Because we learned this. So yeah, that's it. Now let's do it. Expense Terraform. Go to here, expense Terraform, inside the variables.tf. Okay, it's already there. Yeah, all right. Done. Done. So these are for the development environment. For the production environment, I want everything medium instance. Okay. And this one also medium. Okay. This is the rule of thumb. Done. So variable components. So I declared it as a single variable because I want to supply it in a single shot. Okay. variable. That's all. Okay, variable components, and it is a map object. All right, perfect. That's it. This is what I want. Done. Okay, so I'm supplying the variable in a map format. That's it. Okay, and that's the reason I just declared as a one input variable. This way you can avoid supplying. Okay, for example, if you don't go with this style, okay, it's just a single variable. Okay, 1 minute. It's just a single variable with multiple values. If you don't go with this pattern, what happens is you need to write 10 times, which is a very painful thing. So a lot of people, that's the reason they go with the map based input. Okay, so that you don't have to write it n number of times. All right. All right. Next, now it's only just one variable. Now along with that, you also need to supply env is equal to dev. Okay, variables. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Env is equal to dev. Okay. Okay, and declare the variable. Done. Okay, and here that's the story. So how are you going to bring var dot components of inside the front end? Okay, inside the front end, I'm interested about instance type. That's it. And here name each dot key. Okay. Var dot components of, it's a name, and env var dot env. Okay, var dot components of front end of port number. That's all. The code is pretty standard now. Done. Done. And here you just need to say everywhere backend, backend, backend. And here in this case, that's all. Done. Okay. So always make sure. Okay. Now publish the code. That's it. We have everything ready. Okay. Mhm. Now let's try to run and see how that works. Okay, expense Terraform. Terraform init. Terraform plan. Okay. Hyphen var hyphen file is equal to env hyphen dev slash main.tfrs. Okay. Because you are creating it for the development environment. That's it. I'll just go here and I'll try to say just sleep 10, sleep 3 so that we'll have a chance to review. I'm expecting some issues. Let's see. Now it's going to initialize the backend. So Terraform init, what it's going to do, it is going to initialize your backend. It is going to download all the plugins that are mentioned in the root module and the backend module, and then it's going to validate the code that is written by you. Okay, there is an issue, variable declaration in .tf-vars. Okay, variable components. Okay, all right. So env main.tf vars. What was the issue? Okay, all right, I get it. It's not. Okay, variable env. Yeah. Why are we getting that error? Go here, not here. Both env and this are declared, right? Mhm. What was this error? It says variable declaration in .tf vars. Line number 2. Shit. Okay, why did I do this? Okay, I already declared the variable here, right? Components, it should be a value. All right. This is a blunder. Is equal to, right? That's it. I did a mistake. Done. Guys, come on. If I make some mistake, you should correct, right? Why are you silent? I know it says that variable PW has not been declared, and that's the reason it got an error. Okay, fine. Mhm. Okay, where dot PWD? Done. Dot PWD, that error is gone. Now next, publish the code. Done. Mm, Done. Okay. Though for front end and back end it is not needed, but in case if it's needed in future, you can get that. Okay. But for now, it is a null value for rest of them. Done. Okay. That's the reason you got the value var.pwd. Pwd is equal to var.pwd. All right. And from where are we going to supply this value? Hmm. Okay. 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 Mhm. 1 second. Okay, perfect. Now PWD is equal to var dot PWD. Uh, so again, we need to use a centralized vaulting solution, but for now we are using it, but this is not recommended at this point of time because we need to keep the secrets out of from the code, right? Okay. So something we are missing. Again, this is blunder. PWD is equal to var dot PWD. Okay, okay, okay. Expense version 5. How did we handle that? Var dot PWD. Oh, this is how we handled. Okay. All right. Okay, for now, I'm going a hard approach. Okay, that's it. I don't want to take it over this pattern. Okay, variable PWD. Now, inside the expense app, inside the variables, I'll just keep it hard coded. Okay, and I'm not going to supply this here. Done variables. Else. One thing I forgot to remove. We don't need that. But yeah, I need to remove this. Let me remove that. Come on, come on. Yes, this is I know because here I already supplied it. Okay. I already hard coded it, right? So you don't have to. If you look at this, I already hard coded the value here. Okay, rm hyphen rf dot terraform so that the initialize will happen one more time. Okay, module backend. Port number is not required. Okay, port number is needed. This is valid. Okay, main.tf line number 12. So port number is not declared. Okay, port number is not declared.
You deleted port number, Manoj.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That is something unintentionally that's missed. Okay. Again, PWD is required. PWD is required. No definition was found. How? How? We're missing something. Var.pwd. This is also something I need to change it to var.env. This is another correction. Now you'll see one more mistake. Let it run.
Manoj, you have now changed the name, I think.
Sorry,
Backend.
come again.
That port number, right?
Can you complete the sentence, please?
No, in just now you copied the port number. They have not renamed it to backend. 19 line number.
Oh, here, yeah.
Yes.
This is in my list. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, guys, this is what I want. Okay, when we mistakes, okay, I want team to give a heads up. Okay, that gives me confidence that we are all following. Let's make this exercise successful. The rest of them would be easy peasy. Okay, so module backend PWD is required, but no definition was found. No argument is needed, but no definition is found. What is missing? Come on. Uh, Perfect. So I added this, okay? So the reason why I asked you to clear the cache was, okay, it was getting cached. That's the reason though I added it, it is doing, okay, some mischievous thing. All right. So the only thing that needs an improvement is I hard coded the value as expense. Okay. And I'm just sourcing it. PWD is equal to var.pwd. That means var is equal to DevOps, I mean, expense app at the rate one. Okay, and that's the reason, okay, in the TF module Terraform, we also mentioned this. Okay, so When you're calling it, you're also sourcing it. So when the instance comes up, everything should be coming up. That's it. All right. So everyone, please practice this. Create the backend module. And once the backend module is ready, source it. What are the values that are used in the backend module? You need to declare the empty variables in the front-end module, which is not front-end module, root module, where you are supplying the values. That's it. Okay. Again, there is a mistake here because it's going to take time to come up. And if you see this MySQL-dev is failed to connect, this can be fixed by what you can do is by giving some time, because for the network to come up, it's going to take some time. Okay. So what you can do is you can put it as 50 seconds so that by the time server comes up, the network will be established. That's right. Publish the code. Okay. Now, once the infra is created, even though the provisioner got kicked off, for the Ansible pull to be applied, it's going to take 50 seconds of time. Since it's going to take some time, okay, by the time network is going to be established, so it will work. Okay. Obviously, these provisioners are going to be replaced. That is expected. Okay. Now, okay, why it is taking 10 seconds? Didn't I publish the code? Okay, why it is taking 10 seconds? It should be 30 seconds, right? rm-rf.terraform. Okay, so that every time you'll get a brand new provisioner. All right. So meanwhile, any questions, anyone? Today we wasted 10 minutes of time by fixing the Go seed. I don't know because it's been a week that we used it. So in the interim, I don't know what happened. So we just need to fix it. Vikram, any questions? Venugopal, Sumit, Srilata, Mahendra, Ambit, Vikram, Srideep, Salaja, Rachit, Mrudula, Grisha, Ambit.
I'm good, Madhu. Sumit here.
Are we clear? Unless until you practice, you won't understand it, guys. Okay. And see this earlier, it showed us 10 seconds. Now it's showing us 5 seconds. Okay. Just delete the cache.
So, hi Manoj. Yes.
Yes, Rachit. Hi.
So we can say this is the complete procedure for setting up the infrastructure and configuration.
Again, there are a lot of factors of improvement to kickstart with. Yes.
Okay.
Now, tomorrow,
Okay.
if I
Okay.
bring up one more project, let's say I bring up another project called as RoboShop, I don't have to build the same thing one more time. I'll just create it as I don't have to work out about TF module Terraform. Instead, I'll just say RoboShop Terraform and I'll just call it. That's it. Done. Game
Okay.
over. Clear?
Y- Yes, clear. Yes.
Yeah. For some reason, it is taking time for the SSH connection to establish, but that's fine. We'll give it some time and then it will work. But if you come here and if you try to see this, even front-end -dev expense.internal is not working. Why? This is interesting. Var.name, expense.internal. Zone ID is already there, right? Zone ID. Okay, done. Var.name. Var.name.name. That's the mistake. Okay, can you see this? That means front-end hyphen front-end instead of this. So I don't have to write it 10 times, just once enough. Now the DNS records are going to be recreated. Okay, that is the mistake. And you can see now this time it says records are going to be destroyed and recreated because front-end hyphen front-end expense.internal backend hyphen backend dot expense dot internal. MySQL hyphen MySQL will be expense dot internal will be deleted, and frontend hyphen dev, backend hyphen dev, MySQL hyphen dev records will be created. All right. Can you see this record will be created? Now you can clearly see this because of the dependency that we have made. Provisioner first, it is getting invoked is MySQL, and after the completion of it, backend, and after the completion of it, my frontend. Right? Venu, do you have any questions?
Manoj, how did you fix the password error? Your screen got froze.
Is it? Okay, I have removed the cache rm-rf.terraform. Okay, and though I have hard-coded the value here, pwd is equal to var.pw, it is saying that argument not found, right? I deleted the cache and rerun it, it worked. Okay,
Okay, Manoj.
rm-rf.terraform, and then I rerun it, it worked. Because though I have supplied the argument, it says, oh, it's not found. Okay. All right, that's it. So this, it's gonna take some time. I'll fix it, okay? All right. Any other questions, anyone? I'll destroy it. This is the problem with the records, okay? Internal DNS records. You delete it and recreate it, it's gonna take some time. But I'll destroy it and recreate it. Okay. So we have one backlog. The backlog is GoSeed is not working and needs a fix. All right. That's it. And we're gonna meet tomorrow. Thank you guys. Signing off.